Alberta Primetime with Michael Higgins.
Welcome to Alberta Primetime. Ahead tonight, our politics panel on the Premier pushing for a say in judicial appointments. But first, rural municipalities short on dollars.
The struggle is real. I think we see increased downloading from the province, which makes it tough. We have limited ways to generate revenue as a municipality, but we continue to face a shortfall as far as our infrastructure.
Rural municipalities may only account for 15% of the population, but they cover 85% of Alberta's landmass. And with infrastructure deficits building into the billions, rural leaders say they are faced with difficult decisions. Joining us now, Kara Westerlund, president of the Rural Municipalities of Alberta and a Brazeau County councillor. Councillor Westerlund, it's good to see you. Welcome back.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, maybe to start, let's set a quick frame of reference. What kind of dollar figure would you put on the infrastructure deficit currently facing your member municipalities?
So we are looking at a $17 billion deficit, and that was at the end of 2024. And as we enter into 2026, we're expecting that number to grow to as high as $25 billion by the end of this year.
Okay, so what explains an infrastructure deficit of nearly $25 billion?
Well, it is the key infrastructure that everyday Albertans are using, as well as industry are using. It's the roads, it's the bridges, it's the culverts, it's the water, it's wastewater facilities too as well. It's all that non-sexy infrastructure and items that we deal with in the municipal world. But at the end of the day, it is incredibly important and key for keeping Alberta moving forward.
Okay, so how would you compare those rural dynamics with maybe what your urban counterparts are contending with?
Well, for us, we look after about approximately 75% of the bridges in the province of Alberta. That's massive. You know, our association represents 85% of the landmass, but less than 15% of the population. So there in itself is going to tell you the difficulties in dealing with this. We manage over 135,000 kilometers of road in this province from all four corners. Again, less than 15% of the population. Just drawing the picture, it's extremely difficult to keep up with the infrastructure needs in our municipalities and our community when you have low population. And the other piece to this, too, is we know that forestry, agriculture, oil and gas, all the major industries that drive the economy in this province, they don't happen in Calgary and they don't happen in Edmonton, but they happen in my backyard.
Okay, so if dollars aren't there to address this deficit, what are the realistic decisions facing rural municipalities? What do you see those decisions extending to?
I think the easy answer is, and one I think you're hearing being talked about, is obviously the one revenue source for municipalities is property tax. But I think people often forget that as an elected official, I pay property taxes too. And, you know, quite frankly, the conversation is in every single community, I think, rural and urban, is, you know, we're paying enough. Our property taxes are quite high as they are. So looking at increases there is a very, very difficult conversation and a step for a community to entertain. More reality for us is delaying projects or outright canceling projects that need to happen. Obviously, looking at efficiencies within our own municipalities. Cuts to services is another one that we often have to find some dollars from too as well. So that leads me to where we are at today with the call out, and the ask is obviously to the provincial government as well as the federal government, but focusing right now with the provincial government and the budget that's about to be announced.
Do you close roads? Do you close bridges?
Absolutely. I have an example in Brazeau County right now. So about an hour and a half southwest of Edmonton, we closed a bridge just before Christmas. Initial investigations with the engineering teams that we have to work with, we're looking around anywhere from a $2 to $7 million fix for a single bridge in my municipality of 8,000 people. quite frankly, it's a difficult decision around our table. One, that discussion is still happening. But where do you come up with the dollars? Our budgets are already actually set for 2026. They were in place as of December. Now trying to find that additional, millions of dollars to fix a single bridge it's next to impossible. So for the time being, absolutely, closures, road closures, bridge closures, long detours are a fact for rural Albertans right now.
Okay, we should point out you're well into a multi-week public campaign advocating for change, for some support. To what degree have you drawn the attention of the provincial government?
Well, we definitely have the ear of the government on this, and obviously the timing of our campaign and awareness was to time out with the budget coming out. We are asking for some short-term injections into STIP, the LGFF fund. So those are our grant programs that are already available. But you and I both know LGFF took about a 20% cut when it went from the old program, which was the MSI program, to what it is now. STIP has been well underfunded for the last 20 to 30 years. So we're just asking for some short-term incentives and short-term cash injections into those. Obviously, the water grants that are available too as well have faced massive cuts. So we're asking for a relook at those programs and how we're going to be able to move forward. Of course, another piece to this too is the long term. We understand that we can't address this, $17 billion deficit overnight. We didn't get here overnight either. So we know that we're going to have to sit down and look at some long-term solutions, some long-term planning with some sustainable, predictable long-term funding to address these issues.
We know this week the budget will be handed down February 26th. And in announcing that, the government says the budget will reflect the reality of a more difficult fiscal environment. How does that change your expectations of what the budget could or should contain for your municipalities?
We're going to continue to push for those key infrastructure dollars that we need. We get it. At the end of the day, in order for either government to move forward and to work forward, working with industry and businesses in our community is key. We know that strategic investments in infrastructure in key areas help drive the economy, which obviously drives the dollars into the provincial government and municipal governments. I don't think we're asking for the moon and stars here. I think we're just asking for some practical, everyday solutions to the infrastructure needs in our community to keep Alberta's economy moving forward and to make sure that we have a sustainable future for all industries, oil and gas, tourism, forestry, the agriculture sector, and just trying to put our best foot forward and to make sure that we're able to do business not only within our province but outside our province as well.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for time. As always, appreciate your time. Thank you kindly, Councillor Westerlund.
Thank you so much, and thank you to your viewers.
Kara Westerlund.